gone down this alleyway, biggest asylum that I'd ever seen. There was two guys there holding handguns. Small guy, who we later found out was the boss, showed me that the bullets were live. The hell are they doing with weapons inside the prison? So that you could get their protection from the rest of the prison. These guys are going to be looking for something. You had to pay an entrance fee.
If you don't get this money on time,
you know, these guys are going to punish you. Will you get through one night, let alone 8 years?
Number 20, Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. Home to the most brutal criminals in Russia, including serial criminals, terrorists, physical misconducts, cannibals, and those who hurt children, Black Dolphin Prison is a Russian correctional facility. Guards move inmates between buildings by bending them over, grabbing their handcuffed hands behind their back, and having them blindfolded so they cannot devise escape plans or attack prison staff. Inmates are only allowed 90 minutes of exercise a day. Apart from that, they are not allowed to lay down or even sit on their bunks for 16 hours of wake time. With an average of 5 people per inmate, its 700 residents have taken the lives of a total of 3,500 people, putting Black Dolphin Prison very high on our danger list. Number 19, ADX Florence Supermax Facility, USA. A Supermax prison offers a higher level of custody and surveillance as compared to a maximum security prison. ADX Florence Supermax Facility is located in Colorado and is known for holding some of the worst criminals in history, therefore earning the reputation of being one of America's toughest prisons. ADX is escape-proof and houses 350 prisoners. Inmates are kept in solitary confinement for 23 hours and are kept under surveillance 24/7. Number 18, Arthur Road Jail, India. Also known as Mumbai Central Prison, Arthur Road Jail is Mumbai's largest and oldest prison that is known for being highly understaffed and overcrowded. Gang wars that have led to the injury and even demise of inmates have become a routine practice behind the bars of Arthur Road Jail. The prison was originally designed to accommodate about 800 inmates, but houses over 2,000 inmates, seriously overstepping its capacity and adding to the motivations of its inmates to adopt violent measures. Number 17, HMP Belmarsh, UK. This is one of the 3 maximum security facilities in England. A diverse range of men have been incarcerated at Belmarsh, the most common inmates being those who were convicted of terrorism. Even though the prison provides facilities to inmates that include education, physical fitness, and workshops, it is still a place ridden with prison violence. An inspection report suggests that the level of violence has only increased since the last inspection conducted, with a total of 49 attacks attempted on staff and 58 on other inmates, making HMP Belmarsh extremely high risk. Number 16, Diyarbakir Prison, Turkey. Diyarbakir Prison is known for its inhumane practices and human rights violations. The violent conditions there come from the side of the prison staff as opposed to violence from inmates. Mehmet Siddiq Mesey is one of only of the unfortunate who has done time at Diyarbakir, and many like him have lost their lives here. Between 1981 and 1984, a total of 34 inmates lost their lives as a result of torture, self-hurt, or being beaten to their end. In 1996, an incident occurred in which led to the passing of 10 inmates and injuries of 23 inmates at the hands of the prison staff. Number 15, Bang Kwang Central Prison, Thailand. Bang Kwang Central Prison is a maximum security correctional facility in Thailand, roughly 11 kilometers north of Bangkok. New inmates are made to wear leg irons for the first 3 months of their sentence, and penalty row inmates are required to have leg irons permanently welded on. There is also an internal class system that has the poorer of the inmates do chores for the wealthy in exchange for food. Number 14, Kamiti Maximum Security Prison, Kenya. Kamiti is a maximum security detention facility in Kenya that houses Kenyan prisons who are known for going through inhumane treatment and living in conditions that are deemed unfit for human survival. The scarcity of resources, overcrowding, and hot weather conditions result in the development of violent behaviors within prisoners, making this place one of the most dangerous prisons in the world. Number 13, La Santé Prison, France. One of the most infamous prisons in France, La Santé Prison has had numerous riots, capital punishments, and escapes. Inmates are allowed to shower only twice a week, and cells lack proper ventilation. It does not come as a surprise that inmates develop various health issues due to these absurd living conditions. In 1999, La Santé witnessed the act of self-hurt, leading to the demise of a little over 100 inmates. The prison system has developed an internal class system that makes living conditions worse for the lower class inmates. Number 12, Muhanga Prison, Rwanda. Formerly known as Gitarama Prison, Muhanga Prison is notorious for being dangerously overcrowded and for its inhumane conditions. It has also reported cases of cannibalism. The adverse living conditions paired with overcrowding are drivers for inmates being hungry for each other's flesh, quite literally. This remains to be the only prison that has reported cases of cannibalism on our list of the most dangerous prisons around the world. Number 11, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Guantanamo Bay has been widely criticized for detaining individuals without trial and the routine infliction of torture on inmates that includes waterboarding and physical misconduct. There have been several reports of inmates taking their own lives, or at least attempting to, at Guantanamo Bay. Detainees have protested against indefinite detention by going on hunger strikes, but were force-fed using nasal and rectal feeding, which shows yet another grave violation of human rights. Number 10, Ciudad Barrios Prison, El Salvador. The Ciudad Barrios Prison is located in El Salvador and has exclusively housed members of the Mara Salvatrucha gang, more commonly known as the MS-13. The prison is one of the most violent prisons in the country without a doubt, with the governing body being the inmates themselves, who are cold-blooded individuals that even the prison staff dare not mess with. The prison has a prisoner-guard ratio of 50-1. The inmates run their own bakeries and healthcare centers. They are heavily tattooed with gang signs and are constantly involved in fights, which result in many of the less fortunate being beaten to demise. Number 9, La Modelo, Colombia. La Modelo is based in Bogota, Colombia. The prison consists of two wings, the north wing that holds the left-wing rebels, and the south wing holds the right-wing government supporters. The space between the wings is the battleground where the slayings take place. The prison staff does not carry weapons inside the prison, even though the inmates have access to firearms and explosives. In March of 2020, a riot broke out within the prison due to the fear of the COVID-19 pandemic being spread. That riot caused 23 untimely passings and 83 injuries. Number 8, the Penitentiary of New Mexico, USA. PNM is a men's maximum security correctional facility located about 15 miles south of central Santa Fe. The prison has 3 separate facilities that are known as Level 2, Level 5, and Level 6. The Level 6 facility is a supermax site that houses row inmates and criminals that pose greater threats to other inmates, prison staff, and even national security. This prison has also been the witness to the most violent prison riot in history of the U.S., the New Mexico State Penitentiary riot in 1980, when inmates took control over the entire prison and took 12 officers hostage. 33 inmates were compromised in this riot. Number 7, Anísio Jobim Penitentiary, Brazil. Anísio Jobim Penitentiary is a prison built in Brazil, which saw one of the most brutal prison riots anyone has ever seen. Yet interestingly, the inmates did not riot due to poor living conditions, as the officers were not the target but rival gang members. The riot took place on January 1, 2017, between two factions, the Family of the North and the First Command of the Capital. The riot resulted in 56 inmates losing their lives at the expense of being tortured first, then decapitated. Number 6, Mendoza Prison, Argentina. The Mendoza Prison is located in Argentina and is notorious for its harsh living conditions. Inmates are forced to squeeze themselves in cells of 4 square meters each. They sleep on the floor without any mattresses, defecate in plastic bags, and urinate in bottles. These living conditions have caused Mendoza Prison to become a site for various riots. 22 inmates lost their lives in the prison between February 2004 and November 2005. Number 5, Attica Correctional Facility, USA. Attica Correctional Facility is a maximum security prison located in Attica, New York. It has been home to some of the worst criminals in the history of America and has been a site of prison violence. One of the worst riots took place in 1971, when the prison's residents overpowered prison staff and took 42 staff members hostage. The riot ended after 4 days, and 43 lives were lost, of which 33 were convicts and the rest were prison staff. There it comes as no surprise to find Attica among the worst and most dangerous prisons around the world. Number 4, Butyrka Prison, Russia. Russia is notorious for giving a hard time to people who are a menace to society. Butyrka Prison is located in central Moscow and is the largest of Moscow's remand prisons. Not only is overcrowding an issue here, with cells meant to contain only 10 inmates being stuffed with over 100 inmates, but the prison also has a huge number of health concerns associated with its name, with tuberculosis and HIV being primary diseases. Number 3, Tadmor Prison, Syria. Tadmor Prison has a reputation for being one of the most oppressive detainment facilities in the world, and this is why it is among the top 5 of our list of the most dangerous prisons in the world. Detainees have been tortured and slayed by being dragged to their demise or being cut up using an axe. In June of 1980, President Hafez al-Assad issued orders to soldiers to slay every prisoner in sight as a response to an attack on his life. The exact number of those massacred remains unclear to this day, but it is expected to exceed 1,000, with all being members of the Muslim Brotherhood. Number 2, La Sabaneta Prison, Venezuela. La Sabaneta was a notoriously oppressive, violent, and dangerous prison that had to shut down in 2013 as a result of a series of riots, poor living conditions, disorientation, and extensive human rights violations. On January 3, 1994, a riot broke out in the prison due to ongoing gang activity. This very incident caused over 150 inmates to lose their lives, some at the hands of rival gang members, and some at the hands of the prison staff. Gang violence was a common practice here due to a lack of security personnel. In 2013, more than 69 residents of Sabaneta went down the steps of demise, which led to it permanently closing its doors. Number 1, Petak Island Prison, Russia. Petak Island Prison is located on an island in Novozero Lake. It houses some of the most dangerous convicts in Russia, but they do not fear violence from one another, since their interaction is limited due to being confined in small two-man cells for 22.5 hours a day. The remaining 1.5 hours are spent in cages. Such adverse living conditions leave psychological bruises that severely deteriorate a person. The prisoners are not allowed any kind of education, are only allowed 2 short visits a year, are deprived of sanitary facilities, and are tortured beyond understanding. That's all for this video, folks. See you another time.